everyone, this is Manali Raj. Welcome to the CSE Relay News Bulletin presented by Chanakya IAS Academy, Patna. In this segment, we demonstrate about the daily important highlights from the perspective of a civil services examination. Let us have a brief overview of today's headlines. Centre seeks to overhaul British-era criminal laws. Parliament paves way for 28% GST on online gaming. Centre defends use of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam in G20 logo as China objects. India focused on strengthening multilateral development banks to address global challenges. Lynching and hate crime murder in Penal Code, punishment 7 years to death. Moving into the details of the news, Union Minister Amit Shah introduced 3 bills in the Lok Sabha to repeal the British-era Indian Penal Code, the Indian Evidence Act and the Code of Criminal Procedure. The Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita Bill 2023, which replaces the IPC, prescribes capital punishment as the maximum sentence for mob lynching and suggests 10-year imprisonment for sexual intercourse with women on the false promise of marriage. The bill, however, states that sexual intercourse by a man with his own wife, the wife not being under 18 years of age, is not rape. The section on sedition has also been repealed. The bill for the first time defines terrorism and offences such as separatism, armed rebellion against the government, challenging the sovereignty of the country, which were earlier mentioned under the different provisions of the law. The bill proposes 313 amendments that will bring revolutionary changes to the criminal justice system. The ministry introduced the Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita Bill 2023, Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Samhita Bill 2023 and Bharatiya Sakshi Bill 2023 that will replace the IPC 1860, Criminal Procedure Act 1898 and Indian Evidence Act 1872 respectively. Parliament cleared amendments to the GST laws to facilitate the levy of 28% GST on the face value of all bets made in casinos, horse racing and online gaming. Along with the amendments to the central and integrated GST laws that were cleared without discussion by the lower house, states will also have to make legislative changes to their respective GST acts for the 28% levy to kick in. Approved by the GST Council earlier this month, the legislative changes moved through the Integrated GST Amendment Bill 2023 and the Central GST Amendment Bill 2023 include a provision that makes it mandatory for offshore online money gaming firms providing services to the Indian users to register in India and pay taxes or face blockages. Amendments to the Central GST law include definitions for online gaming, online money gaming, specified actionable claim, and virtual digital assets. Schedule 3 of the Act will be amended to include specified actionable claims so as to provide clarity regarding taxability of actionable claims involved in or by way of casinos, horse racing, and online gaming. Defending the use of Sanskrit term Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, the world is one family, in its G20 logo, the Ministry of External Affairs said it uses only the English version of the phrase One Earth, One Family, One Future in its summary documents and outcome statements. The clarification came after reports in the media said China had objected to the use of non-UN language like Sanskrit in any of the G20 text being negotiated. The theme of India's G20 presidency in English is One Earth, One Family, One Future. This is based on our civilizational ethos of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, which has received widespread support and permeates many of the initiatives that India has brought onto the G20 agenda. Ministry of External Affairs said that, pointing out that the G20 letterhead during the Indian presidency contains the term in the Devanagari script as well as English. Media reports had said that China was the only country objecting to the use of the phrase, and even Russia, which has consistently opposed the language in G20 text with regard to Ukraine, has not joined in the Chinese position on it. According to a number of diplomatic sources, the objection to Sanskrit is one of the several areas where Chinese and Indian negotiators have been wrangling over the past few weeks, as the Chinese delegations have taken a more confrontational stance over several phrases introduced by the Indian G20 Sherpa team. These include language on the promotion of millets, the Lifestyle for Environment initiative proposed by Prime Minister, and even terms like gender-led development, which the Chinese delegation claimed was supplanting UN-agreed language for sustainable development goals. According to the Finance Minister, the primary focus of India's G20 presidency in 2023 has to be to strengthen the multilateral development banks in order to address shared global challenges. The multilateral development banks are also facing increasing demands from donor and borrowing countries to expand their lending operations beyond their core development mandates. However, MDBs are not currently equipped to address this rising demand for their resources adequately. Speaking at the G20 Finance Track Seminar on Global Economy, Challenges, Opportunities and the Way Forward, she said that the escalation of debt issues in vulnerable economies poses significant economic risks to their sustainable development. The international community must collaborate and find stronger ways to coordinate debt restructuring for low-income and vulnerable middle-income countries facing debt distress. The India's G20 presidency has given a great importance to the management of global debt vulnerabilities, demonstrating a commitment to voicing the concerns of the Global South. 5 years after the Supreme Court asked the government to consider a separate law for lynching, the government introduced provisions codifying offences linked to the mob lynching and hate crime murder with a punishment that extends from 7 years to death. The Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita 2023 introduced addresses cases when a mob of 5 or more individuals commits murder based on factors such as race, caste, community, or personal belief. This is nested in Section 101 of the bill that deals with the punishment of the murder. Under this section, Section 2 has been introduced, which deals with the punishment for crime links to mob lynching and hate crime. It states that when a group of 5 or more persons acting in concert commits murder on the ground of race, caste, or community, sex, place of birth, language, personal belief, or any other ground, each member of such group shall be punished with death or imprisonment for life or imprisonment for a term which shall not be less than 7 years and shall also be liable to fine. This comes in the backdrop of the Apex Court expressing concerns and urging the need for a dedicated legislation to address cases of lynching and vigilantism. Some text in news. Direct tax collection rose to 17.3% as of August 10. India's direct tax collections rose 17.3%. with a kitty of 5.84 lakh crore comprising 32% of the total budget estimates from direct taxes for 23-24 financial year. Gross direct tax collections stood at 6.53 lakh crore or 15.7% higher than the revenue in the earlier period. Refunds issued rose 3.73% to 69,000 crore. The direct tax kitty was boosted by a record of 6.77 crore income tax returns filed by the July 31 deadline this year. That was all for today. Aspirants can avail the PDF of today's news from the description link of this video. Stay tuned to our channel for standardizing your civil services preparations. Thank you.